What is going on, everybody? We are in the garage again. I was going to make a bait making video tonight, but it is kind of cold out, so I got the garage door shut. I don't have a whole lot of ventilation. It is a little bit too cold to be chilling out in the garage making bait, so I want to keep the garage door shut, but what I am going to do, though, is do a little walk around of the Bass Raider. So a little backstory behind the Bass Raider, and it's kind of like what I drove the name of my channel off of, Raider 1. I love this Bass Raider. I actually bought it from my wife's uncle. He bought it a while ago and then just kind of stopped using it for a little bit. So I was like, hey, let me get that off of you. I want to try it out and then maybe buy it from you. So I ended up buying it from him. I got it, started using it, and I absolutely fell in love with it. I do more fishing on this than I do anything else as much as I can. Anyway, so this is the Bass Raider, right? So what I wanted to do is a little walk around of the way it's set up now. It's not like super set up comparatively to a lot of guys that I've seen. They do crazy stuff with these things. It's insane, like underglow lights for like bow fishing, interior lights around the your foot area. People put 3 or like 2.5 horsepower outboard engines on these things. I mean, it gets pretty crazy when you get really down into it, but I haven't really done a whole lot of upgrades myself since I've owned it. Really, the only thing that I put on here that's new was the newer trolling motor. So I just upgraded that to a little bit higher horsepower, get you in and out of the weeds a little bit more. But yeah, so we're gonna do a little walk around. It'll be brief. Maybe go over some stuff that I might end up doing to it later on down the road. So all right, let's get to it. All right, so here's the Bass Raider. These things are 10 foot long. They're very, very stable. It's kind of like a pontoon boat per se. It's got these 2 pontoons, one on each side, right? And you can put 2 people on here and fish like easily and not worry about tipping over at all. Like, I think there's a video out there where a guy stands on this side and a guy stands on this side, and they're like rocking back and forth, teetering it and trying to get it to flip over, and they just couldn't make it happen. This thing is so sturdy and stable when you're on the water. It's insane. Occasionally, whenever you're on the fishing deck, which is something my buddy built, by the way, we'll talk about that in a minute. When you're on the deck and you have like a full turn one way and you hit full power on the trolling motor, it kind of teeters you enough to where you could fall off. But for the most part, like, that's the only time I've ever had any issues with it. And that's if whoever's on here with you and you're driving and you don't tell them you're doing it, you know, they just don't know what's going to happen. So it's not a big deal. As long as you talk to whoever you're riding with, or if you're by yourself, it's never an issue. Anyway, so back to the fishing deck. My buddy had built this for me. I saw another guy on YouTube build one very similar to this. It goes all the way across, as you can see, and it makes it awesome for bed fishing. That's like the primary reason for it, really, is to be able to get up a little bit higher so you can see down in the water easier. And it makes a huge difference. I didn't think it was going to, but it did. It makes a huge difference. I love it. It's a lot easier to cast off of. You don't actually have to worry about hitting the sides or casting kind of funny from the inside. Or if you don't want to sit down the entire time, if you want to stand up, it makes it a lot easier too. So put that on there. You can slide it back and forth. As you can see, these PVC pipes right here are basically pole holders. You just slide your pole in and out. He actually cut little holes on the inside and the bottom, so if there's any water in there, it'll leak out. And if I want to, it's not fixed, so I can just remove it, take it off. If I want to put 2 seats, because, you know, it's the standard little slide back and forth seats. If I wanted to have 2 seats on there, I could do that, and then I don't have to worry about having this in the way. I can just leave it at home. It depends on the application. And so basically, I only use this for the most part when we're bed fishing. And usually if I do go out and I take my wife with me, my wife usually stands up here because that's like her favorite way to fish, is bed fish. So this is usually her spot. She usually drives during that time. So anyway, it's got 2 transoms. You got this transom here, and you have this transom, right? So obviously I have this Minn Kota. Yeah, I think this is a 50. Yeah, it's a 50. And a little 5-speed, obviously forward reverse. This thing actually, I like it. It's got a lot of power. It kind of has a really, really good first gear to where it's nice and smooth. I don't have to worry about it going too fast during when I'm trying to troll and I'm pitching in and out of grass and stuff like that along banks. It does really well. Fifth gear all the way up gets me across the lake like super fast. It doesn't really drain my battery a whole lot. It seems to be nice. The only issue that I have with this particular trolling motor is when I bought it, I went from a 30 to a 50. So the size of the motor, the difference is it's so much bigger, and I didn't realize that it was going to be that much of a difference, and it doesn't help me get through grass and the depth as much, because I can usually, with my other one, I can raise it up higher and it doesn't hit anything in here and it's not a big deal. But with this one, I can't really do that. So I still use this one more than I do the other one because I wired this one back up, and it is what it is. I don't really go in grass that much anyway. I try to dodge it as much as I can. But in the event that I do, that one just pushes the grass and stuff out of the way. All right, now we move back here. So the battery, everything is hooked up with the wire all inside, right? You have these little tunnels that all the wires go through. And I hook the battery up back here, and I usually have it sitting right where it sits. So right now, the only thing that I'm working on upgrade-wise is my neighbor actually, he's a welder. So what he's working on for me right now is a box that clamps on right here. And it goes from basically one side from about right here to about right here, and it'll fit the entire battery. So I can put the battery here, and then it's gonna have two compartments, one on each side, basically here and here. Then I can put tackle boxes, you know, just little rigs or whatever I need, and then get the battery out of the boat, because it takes up foot space. If somebody back here is wanting to fish this direction, the battery's all in the way, so it's kind of difficult. It also helps out with the weight distribution, so I can put a little bit more weight aft. That way, when I'm trolling up there, I'm 220 pounds. While I'm driving by myself, this thing doesn't rudder any at all. All right, as soon as I slow down, it starts to kick out this way. It can't keep control of it, which they do make rudders for these things. You can attach to it, and it works well. I just haven't bought one yet. I don't really feel the need to, because I usually have someone with me while I'm out there on this thing. So that's what I'm working on now. Hopefully my neighbor pulls through with me sooner than later and gets this box built, and I can move the battery out into this box and then have some storage space back here in the back. I think one of the compartments that is going to be on this thing, on this side, I think I'm going to have holes drilled on the bottom so I can put my anchor inside of the box. I think that's one of the things that we had talked about, was having it to where I can have my anchor off of this thing, because it sits up here and I go to pull it out and there's grass all over the place, and then it just gets water and mud all over the place. So something like that would be nice. I can just tuck the anchor in right there, and it's already out of the way. If I don't even use the anchor, it's out of the way. So right now you can see that's where it sits the entire time, or, you know, down here, again, taking up foot space, taking up room. So once I get this box built, that's going to help out a lot with the battery and the anchor being moved. And then if I have a bunch of terminal tackle or whatever I want, just kind of that stays with the bass raider, I can just get little tiny tackle boxes and put inside of the other side of the box. I think that'll work out really well. Something else I thought that was really funny I was going to show you guys. The other day, I was working on getting all the stickers off of the bass raider. They're all kind of dry rotted or just kind of peeling off a little bit here and there. So I worked on the other side. I got all of it off, and I come to this side, and I didn't notice this before. And it's kind of an inside joke between my wife and I. She thinks it's hilarious because I was like, hey, you need to come look at this. Because this whole time I've been fishing this way, and she's gone out with me probably 100 times, and we did not notice this until the other day, right? So check this out. So the bee has been missing the entire time. I did not notice until the other day. So we were sitting in the garage talking about it, or talking about putting stickers and stuff on it. When I went to go take this off, and she lost her mind. It was hilarious. So this whole time, this is what I've been riding around on right there, all over the place. You know, it's kind of funny. I thought it was funny anyway. So now you guys know. Now that I've shown you that, I'm probably going to take it off. I don't think I'm going to really put any stickers on it or anything right away. I don't know what I'm going to do. Probably just leave it the way it is for now, and then maybe come up with a name or something and name it, and then put a big sticker on it. But that was funny to us the other day. We were laughing pretty hard in the garage. A fish finder. So I had one. I do have it, actually. It's a tiny little like old school hummingbird. When you actually get any kind of fish on it, it pops up with like a little tiny fish. It just goes bleep, and beep, and that's it, right? It doesn't really tell you anything else. Kind of doesn't give you any kind of depth changes or whatever. So I had it mounted on here and it was working out really well, and I broke this. I don't even know when. I didn't notice this until just now. So I'm gonna have to get a new mount and figure out some other type of fish finder. I don't know what brand really to go with. I don't have a lot of experience in using them. So that's something that I want to be looking to in the future. It actually hooks up down here somewhere, and it's like hardwired into the power directly to the battery. So as soon as I get more upgrades or anything changes to it, you guys will see it firsthand. Hopefully that box shows up or my neighbor gets to it pretty soon. He's a pretty busy guy, so I don't know how long it's going to take realistically. But once I get it, I'll let you know how it works out. There's probably, honestly, somebody probably already makes these things. I can probably just buy one. But my neighbor does a lot of good stuff, so we'll see how it goes with that box. Anyway, so you guys make sure you subscribe to the channel, like the video, and make sure you go and check out the link in the description for Gill's Performance Fishing Gear. There's also going to be a promo code in the link, and it will be 25% off of your final purchase, and it is going to be in the description below as well. So check that out. Make sure you click the link in the description. That goes to helping out with the channel, and that's going to help out with me being able to bring you guys more content and more fishing videos and bait making videos. All right, make sure you enjoy the rest of your evening and subscribe to the channel.